Why don't you have a seat right over here for me?
The Fakertarians, John Hudak and company, absolutely are entirely scum.
I don't trust these motherfuckers at all, and they're absolute fucking scumbags.
Good night, Moon. Good night, Moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon.
It sucks, okay? Because Hudak has become like this annoying fucking bugaboo in the movement, right? Mm-hmm. But I have a soft spot for John Hudak. Like, honest to God, I do, right? Like,
a little bit of context is important. If you don't know who John Hudak is, if you don't know who Fakertarians are and what they are about, it helps in this context, because these are the people who have been going after Tom Woods for years, specifically to discredit him.
I know some good games we could play, said the cat. I know some new tricks, said the cat in the hat. A lot of good tricks. I will show them to you. Uh-oh. Your mother will not mind at all if I do.
Uh-oh. Me and that guy will exchange words when the time comes, because I think we need to talk about that in person and certainly hash that out.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 49 of the Fakertarians podcast. I'm your host, John Hudak, along with Jeremy Kantorowicz, Archie Flower, and our tech guy. So we have some guests joining us today. They're two members of the New Mexico Libertarian Party. One of them is running for the governor nomination. The primary is on Tuesday. And the other is just a member, so we're having them join in a little bit. We had a little bit of a scheduling conflict where they couldn't make it. We were originally going to start at 6, so we're just going to talk a little bit about the LP while they get situated. So anything notable happened, guys, this last few days?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, there's obviously the business list and the goings-on there.
You mean Karen Ann's blog?
Karen Ann's blog, yeah. Between trying to make sure that history is rewritten with her suspension, because the delegates said it never happened, so it never happened, even though it happened.
No, I noticed, though, if you look at the LNC email list, like when you pull it up and you scroll to the top, with the new things she just submitted a few minutes ago, I think it's like 11 of the 12 threads I see right now are started by her. She is on a roll right now.
She's got a den mother the list.
And we'll talk about, if we have time before the guests get on, we'll talk a little bit about that SPLC motion, where she's really mad that some of the other Mises people are voting against it. But one thing I did want to talk about is the fact that our best friend Dave Smith is now one of the people in charge of the Libertarian Party Twitter. Any thoughts on that, or you want me to just kind of launch into my rant about it?
Oh, if you want to.
I actually think that with that being the case, Mr. Winograd may get his deepest wish.
Which is what? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
The LP national account tweeting out the N-word. Hey, Jacob, if you're watching, go F yourself.
But I think there is a little bit of a conflict of interest there, I will say, because Dave likes to do the thing, and even like I saw Josh Smith the other day talking about this. Dave likes to do the thing where he's like, oh, I haven't made up my mind yet on if I'm running or not. But we all know he is. It's been an open secret that the Mises Caucus presidential ticket in 2024 is going to be Dave as president and Maj Toure as vice president. And the fact that they're denying that is hilarious, especially because a few days ago, Heist made a post in the Mises Caucus group saying the road to Dave Smith 2024 starts now. So there's a little bit of a messaging issue. I think they need to get on the same page there.
I don't think they do need to get on the same page. I think they already are on the same page.
didn't somebody say to like, Dave Cohen or Dave Amish?
Yeah,
or,
so
can't
someone
remember.
in the group on that thread
corrected him.
Yeah, they said that it should be Dave as president and Spike Cohen as vice president. And Heist was like, no, Dave Maj. And then there were some arguments about that, like nothing like explosive or anything, but they were going back and forth because this has been the plan since I think we reported it in 2020. We had a source come to us and say that it was talked about on a Mises Caucus donor call. And I've talked to some people privately beyond that since then, and everything I've heard has been that has been the plan. I've never heard. Oh, actually, I did hear something that they were talking about other vice presidential candidates at one point, but I had never heard anything about them wavering on running Dave for president. Like that was definitely happening. Yeah.
Ginger is here.
Okay. Yeah, bring her in.
So you go back. We're setting up.
We're setting up.
Still setting up? Okay.
You're still
give
setting
me
up? Okay.
Give me a hand gesture when you're ready, okay?
Okay, we got the guests backstage again. That's both of them in the video.
So here's my question though. Who can Maj wish happy birthday to that will get him dropped from the ticket?
That's a good question. I mean, I bet if he said happy birthday to me, but we got like another 7 months for that, so he's gonna have to wait a bit. Any sooner birthdays? Anyone in here?
Is Maj really gonna be likely to wish you a happy birthday?
No.
Yeah. So
I don't know who.
Because obviously wishing someone a happy birthday is just way over the line, fellas. I mean, that's just
I don't think he would wish anybody a happy birthday that would get him a boot.
No, he'd be more likely to say something dumb on Twitter. Like, what was it Martha Bueno he was talking to when he said the thing about, like, he said she had a nice mouth when they were arguing?
Yeah, I think so.
He said it to some female activist in the LP. I don't know who it was. I think it was Martha. I think that was about a year ago. Because the dude is just totally unhinged.
All right, and for our guests backstage, if you guys are ready, just give me a thumbs up to let me know.
Can they hear us?
Yes, they can hear us.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, he is. He's just what he get.
Oh, I think that guy in the back just gave a thumbs up. All right, so welcome to our guest today. Both on the same camera. Oh, can you hear us all right?
Oh. Nope. No, maybe they're still set.
Unmute. I can't hear them now.
Testing.
We may have to undo that.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, guys.
No worries. You guys are a little bit loud, by the way. The mic's, if you can hear me still, the mic's a little bit loud. Is that something we can adjust? I think it's something we can adjust.
We can adjust that, yes. Okay. Oh, okay. They're ready now. Okay.
Good?
Yeah,
yes,
better.
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
We can.
Yes.
All right. So welcome both of you to the podcast. I'll let you introduce both of you introduce yourselves.
Go ahead, Kalen.
Well, my name's Kalen Dreher, and I'm in your comments a lot. And
you're Bernalillo County Sheriff.
I'm Mr. Don Copter, one and only. 1 year anniversary this week. And now I'm running as the Libertarian Party candidate for Bernalillo County here in New Mexico, which includes Albuquerque.
For sheriff?
Yeah, for sheriff.
With very good reason.
Basically because we have one of the most corrupt police forces in the country.
Yes. The Department of Justice is parked here and has been for years. But Kalen is also an individual with autism.
Oh, yeah.
And the autistic community and the disabled community is very much adversely affected by law enforcement. I am a mother of 2 special needs children, and it is nightly. Since they were tiny, I have been woken up with terror of them having any kind of interaction. One of my sons thinks it's hysterical to do the exact opposite of anything anyone says. And I know that if he comes in contact with law enforcement, it would end horrifically. And so we basically just kind of self-isolate so that doesn't happen. And they're 19, I cannot continue to let that happen for the rest of their lives. And so Kaylin is my hero.
I mean, thankfully you live in a small town. Albuquerque. I live in Albuquerque.
Right.
And they're just, I gotta fear them.
It's horrific. It's horrific. They shot a man who was just butt naked because they feared for their life. And I'm like, from what?
No,
I mean, so Kaylin is my hero for doing this, for running as a sheriff candidate and bringing attention to the fact that law enforcement absolutely is horrific.
Out of control here.
It's out of control in the entire country, the nation, in New Mexico.
New Mexico is #1 in police shootings in the country.
Wow.
Last year. So, yeah.
So he's representing a lot and carrying a lot on his shoulders for a young individual. And I think he should be applauded across the world for what he's doing.
No, absolutely. Sounds like it. So Ginger, what are you running for?
Oh, and I am Ginger G. Grider. I am the write-in candidate for governor for the Libertarian ticket for New Mexico. I found myself in this position when I heard, and I was very well aware of the individual who ended up on our ticket. Her name is Karen Badoni. I would suggest that everyone please go watch every single social media thing she has. She is on every platform that has ever been made.
I have shared it to their group, so that's why I kind of got you guys on.
She makes insane videos. We got rid of qualified immunity here in New Mexico recently. She would like to bring that back because she thinks that it makes it harder for police to do their jobs. She is for the red flagging of women's reproductive parts and not 72-hour hold on all abortions.
A 72-hour class of pro-life indoctrination.
And then to make it cost between $50,000 and $100,000 to obtain an abortion. So basically, if you are an ultra wealthy senator or congressman who happens to knock up your secretary or intern or girlfriend, then yeah, you can get one. But if you are a poor woman who just would rather not be pregnant, then sorry about you.
Yeah, I was going through her campaign page earlier, and I saw too she was pro border wall, which was interesting.
She said at our convention that she would go down and build it herself.
Weld it.
Yeah,
in
I saw
her videos. She talks about that she went and looked at the border and how it was just. She talked about the people on the other side of the border, how they were disgusting, trash, and that we need to prevent that from coming over. And as a libertarian, as a human being, as a thinking individual, I don't believe that anyone is illegal for being a human being. And I'm not down with calling people disgusting and trash.
She also said the same stuff about homeless people here in Albuquerque. Like suggesting that they should get mandatory rehabilitation.
Yes.
God.
Yes, she advocated for forcibly caging disenfranchised people who happen to find themselves homeless and are addicts and having them put in rehab, which equates to having the police round them up and put them in re-education centers, which sounds awful final solution-y to me.
Oh, and Albuquerque Police Department has a history of just shooting homeless people. I mean, it made national attention about 8 years ago. There's James Boyne. He was a homeless person kind of by the Sandia Mountains, and he's schizophrenic, and the police came and literally just shot him because oh. And it's crazy. Does she know the history behind how bad the police interact with homeless people here? I mean,
no, I mean, it seems like that's what she wants.
It's exactly what she wants.
So, how did she end up getting the nomination exactly?
But she doesn't have the nomination.
Oh yeah, no, but she's on the ballot, right?
In New Mexico, the Libertarian Party is actually a major party because we have a strong number of registered libertarians, and
we got Gary.
Yeah, so and that allows us to do primaries, and basically what she did is she started off as a candidate in the Republican race. She's basically narcissistic, I'd say, and she felt like she wasn't getting enough attention in the GOP primary. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go elsewhere." And there's a video I shared it to the group. But basically, she was like, "If I go as a libertarian, I don't have to get as much ballot signatures as an independent." And basically, her fan base is basically just a bunch of MAGA boomers. And she was like, I'm gonna have them switch their registration to libertarian because basically in order to get on the ballot, you need members of your own party to sign your petition. And basically what they did is many of them temporarily switched over from Republican to Libertarian. And basically they got her the number of signatures she needed. And then what's actually interesting is how many of them switched back to Republican to get back to put in the primaries?
Yeah, so what happened was 4 days before our signatures were required, because we require for the Libertarian Party in New Mexico, it's based on the number of party members you have. So for the Libertarians, we only require 280 signatures to appear on the ballot. She managed to convince 280 Republicans to switch to Libertarian, and they signed her petitions. Within a week, 68% had switched back. She came to convention, and all she needed was 7 people because of the amount of people in attendance in our convention was very small. So she only needed 7 people to vote for her at convention. And since she had met the signature requirement with Secretary of State, and she got more than 7 people to vote for her at convention, then she made it onto the ballot. I was aware of all of this when it was happening. My husband was calling me because, strangely enough, she's from Farmington, New Mexico, which is in the northwestern corner.
Navajo, Four Corners.
Yeah, Four Corners area. I'm from a little teeny tiny town called Portales, New Mexico. It's right on the border of Texas, about 30 minutes away from Texas.
I've actually been there a few times. I live in Amarillo, so I know where Taos, New Mexico is.
Well, you know where Portales is? Yes, so she comes to Portales. Well, I have been the chair of the Libertarian Party since 2016. She has been to my home. She knows that I am the chair. And she came and switched to Libertarian in my town without informing me. And my husband called me and told me, and he said, Karen's going to swap to Libertarian, and is it okay if I cuss? I'm here.
Yeah. You're all the
time. Fuck you, you ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That ain't happening. I said, I just saw her. She's over at El Rancho. She said, there's no big announcement, whatever. You're full of shit. And then 30 minutes later, lo and behold, there she is on my county courthouse steps, swapping to Libertarian. And I was like, oh, dear God. And so I knew I was going to convention. I heard her speak. She said she was going to build the wall herself. She got booed by all the legacy Libertarians, but she brought half the Navajo Nation with her. And so they're back there just clapping like party puppets. And,
she brought a bunch of her supporters, and one of them was dressed up as Uncle Sam with a Blue Lives Matter flag shirt. It's do you realize you're in the convention of the party that probably the most anti-police? You're with, the guy that punched Manny Gonzalez, the sheriff here.
Yeah, well, when she was asked about qualified immunity, she didn't know what it was. All she said was, it makes it harder for police to do their job. And of course, got booed down by every lady in the room. And when she was done, speaking, saying the words, I just got up, and we have an open mic at our convention that allows anyone who wants to jump in. And I just stood up and said, listen, we all heard what we just heard, and there is no way in good conscience that I can allow her to appear on our ballot under the Libertarian banner. So I am declaring as a write-in. And I have been playing catch up ever since then. So that's who we are.
Yeah. So in contrast to her platform, what's your platform like?
My platform is freedom. Freedom.
Actual freedom, not the buzzword that conservatives.
Not the wall.
Yeah, not the wall. No, I want, I'm not a completely ridiculous person. I mean, I'm not just like, let's just throw it open and let anybody, but smart, quick immigration.
Let's get through the
let's get people through. Let's get them through. Let's get them processed. Let's not make it cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's not make it take 10 or 20 years. Get them in, interview them. They're coming anyways. Let's get them in, get them processed, and let them work. We live in a majority state. My entire life, I have known people who are illegal. I don't believe humans are illegal.
Well, I grew up mainly in the Midwest, and I got along well with like all the Mexican migrant workers, their children. So, and I think honestly, I'd say those people are more harder working than all the gringos up there.
I mean, I'm not afraid of the tamale lady. She doesn't scare me. Her kids don't scare me. We ran a construction company for 25 years in the state of New Mexico. These people are not scary. Every dairy worker I know has a fake social security number, and
anything, I'd find the border patrol more scary. I mean, there's technically like there's a there's like a certain radius from the border that basically, you cannot, they can legally suspend the constitutional rights of you. And
it's 100 miles.
Yeah.
And so we have that here. But so my platform is freedom. It is on an immigration. It's let's get them in, let's get them processed, they're coming anyways. Let's be smart about it. Bodily autonomy, 100%. Government has no place in your doctor's office. Education, we're already taxing people and taking their money. I was a special needs advocate for 10 years. Give the money back to the parents. Let them decide what they want to do. If they want to put their kids in public school, more power to you. If you want to homeschool your children, take the money and use it however you see fit. If you want to band together with a bunch of other parents and hire a teacher, then enrich that person and have them teach your child whatever you want to do, because it's your money, it's your child, it's your business. It's not the government's. Because I'm a libertarian.
Yeah, no, exactly. So how's your campaign been going so far? Do you think you have a good amount of support?
Mine? Yeah. Libertarians in New Mexico know who I am. I was the Secretary of State candidate. I ran with Gary in his congressional race.
Her daughter was like, I met when I was getting involved here. I got involved with Gary's Senate campaign, and like, I was so thrilled to know that you're her mother.
My daughter ran the volunteer coordination for Gary's congressional run, and that's how she met Kaylin. And then I met Kaylin through this. But yes, I was a Secretary of State candidate in 2018.
Got 5%?
I got 6% of the vote, 35,600 votes. In 9 weeks, our SOS candidate dropped out, and I jumped in to fill the spot. And so I feel like it's going good. I hope that every New Mexico libertarian that's out there that knows I'm running will write me in. They have to fill in the bubble, because I am the proud owner of a bubble and a line. And I need the bubble filled in, and I need
exactly as Ginger
G. Grider. It has to be written exactly like that. And I've done all I can. I did 1,200 mailers to every libertarian who voted in the last 2 primaries. I've hired a door knocker to knock Albuquerque metro area. I have a phone banker that is currently phone banking 1,400 numbers that we have that are good. I am doing 2 text pushes, and I just don't know what else to do. My website's up. I'm trying as hard as I can to keep it updated.
Is there, because a lot of people watching this are out of state,
right?
And I'm sure they're pissed off by the Mises takeover last weekend, and they do, New Mexico is pretty anti-Mises, so I'll put that out there. I mean, they supported someone that was it the Duns that tried to challenge our ballot access in court, and and I'm pretty sure a lot of this audience would be very interested in trying to prevent someone like Karen Bedoni from getting the ballot or from getting the nomination here.
She just can't. She cannot, guys. She cannot appear on our ballot. She is an ultra hyper partisan QAnon Trumper.
She literally supported it. She tweeted out in support of QAnon in 20.
I saw that.
Yeah, in 2019, when Trump had some stupid rally here near Albuquerque, and he owns the city of Albuquerque, to thousands of dollars for security fees. But anyway, she was speaking there, and she tweeted out cute, but she spelled cute instead of with a C, wrote it with a Q and hashtag QAnon.
Wow.
That
is a rough one.
On our ballot, guys. I just need every libertarian, every registered libertarian, whether you've ever voted in a primary or not, to please go to the polls on June 7th and fill in the bubble and write me in. Please, we cannot allow her to appear under the Libertarian Party's name.
God.
It would be horrific.
I mean, we did look at her website before the interview started, and she seems like your average QAnon Trumper.
And cancel culture, but also NCRT. I mean, isn't that their own cancel culture? Whatever CRT, I don't know. But it's she wants to what is it? The American exceptionalism in the classroom. I mean,
she just says so many words without saying anything at all.
And suicides. It's how?
If you go on my Facebook page, you will see my for Libertarian Governor page. She just spends all day. She has these sock accounts, and she just spends all day.
Or occultists her that just
spamming. It's just Karen shoes, Karen fry bread, Karen trucks, Karen, and I'm this are just words.
Oh my God. There was one of her supporters who was in one of her groups. They're oh, we just learned, this was after she announced, we just learned that Karen Bedoni is a challenger in the Libertarian primary. Please pray against her, is basically what it said.
Wow.
And she was claiming that she didn't feel welcome in the GOP because she wasn't Christian enough. Yet she is her supporters are ultra religious fundamentalists.
They're just, they have a whole prayer group that's praying against me.
And then she has these trolls, or probably the more younger of her supporters, which really aren't a lot, because most of her supporters who are just one of them accused me of being paid by the GOP to smear her.
Oh,
where's my money, Steve Pierce? The chair of the.
I am being paid by MLG and the Republican Party at the same time.
Why would they pay me, who I've publicly called them, a cult of personality for Trump? Why would they be giving me money? Oh, and I don't know if you saw this, but someone edited the Libertarian Party page, Libertarian Party of New Mexico's Wikipedia page, and basically made it that Ginger Grider has been endorsed by all these wacky figures trying to make it look. I'll pull it up.
Were they real endorsements or was it totally fake?
Some of them are real.
Nick Sarwark, Gary Johnson.
The Sarwark and the Johnson endorsement are real.
But let me read it. I took it.
And then since convention, my husband spoke with Jo Jorgensen in the elevator, and she said that she would endorse me. She hasn't publicly come out and done so yet, but she said she would. And so, yeah, I mean, and all of the caucuses said they don't have time to have meetings, but classical liberals said that they would endorse me. Liberty Advocates has endorsed me. Oh, I can't even. I'm just in a whirlwind, and I caught the crud from National.
I don't think they can endorse, but they've been critical of Karen Vidoni because she's written a bunch of anti-trans garbage under it.
Well, and I mean, and people kept telling me that she was endorsed by Mises. So while I was at National, I saw Tom Woods at the bar, and I asked him if we could speak for a moment, and I asked him point blank if he endorsed her and if Mrs. endorsed her, and he said, I don't even know who she is. Tell me about her. And I told him about her, and he said, no, we did not.
I think because the Dunn family, they've gone. I don't know. It's really
they had nothing to do with that.
Am I able to send you the endorsement list that some troll messed with?
Yeah.
For your Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, send it to me to Facebook.
All right, this is insane, and I will read it off.
Okay.
But I don't know if you can.
It's a third iteration of an endorsement list, but yes, the Sarwark one is real and the Johnson one is real. But it's a good.
And I'm kind of, but they.
And Kaylin is real.
But they put it something crazy in front of me. Here, I sent it to. Are you able to put it on the screen?
Let them read it.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Let them read it.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it up on the screen, or no, I'll read it off right now.
I'll explain.
Okay. The party will have a gubernatorial candidate in the 2022 election, which is the first time that the party will have a gubernatorial candidate appear on the ballot. A primary is being contested between Karen Bodoni and Ginger G. Grider. It's Grider?
Grider.
Just making sure.
Yes.
Ginger G. Grider, the write-in candidate for the party's gubernatorial nomination, is endorsed by former national chair Nicholas Sarwark, former governor Gary Johnson, Albuquerque's Don Copter and Antifa terrorist, New Mexico's Drug Dealers and Prostitutes Association. I feel like that's not a real thing. Master Shake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Everyone's going for that endorsement. Albuquerque nudist Don Schrader.
You could tell someone from New Mexico from that because
he's a real person.
Yeah, he's he goes around almost with just shorts around even in winter. I mean, he's actually an interesting guy to talk to. He's very anti-war. But I mean, I don't think he even votes from what I read. He's a non-voting anarchist. But anyway.
So we got more. We got Nutter Butter, Patrick Starr, the ghost of Billy the Kid. I mean, that's an important demographic. You can reach people not alive. It's pretty impressive. Albuquerque's gangs. I'm glad they all found something they could come together on. New Mexican stoners.
She's a cannabis farmer.
Homeless advocate Daniel Chernow, I think it is. Some angry senior citizen in Las Cruces, Beavis and Butthead, and Tim Walsh.
These sound more or less like excellent endorsements.
That's what I thought.
I think they're probably a little crazy, but it's the total opposite.
No one was trying to make me look crazy. It's a group of people that are friends with my husband. And they edit Wikipedia articles.
I mean, who knows? It's the most dope list ever.
I thought it was the greatest list of endorsements in the history ever. So yeah,
I like how it ends. Is Tim Walsh a real person?
I'm sorry.
Is Tim Walsh a real person? Because I just thought it was funny how
he was our gubernatorial candidate. He used to work for Gary Johnson, and he had to drop out.
Okay, I just thought it was funny how it lists through a bunch of ghosts and TV characters and stuff, and then it just ends with and Tim Walsh.
No, because he was our gubernatorial candidate.
Yeah, no,
president, but James Ogle.
That'd be a good endorsement.
That's a really niche libertarian.
Oh yeah, I don't think people watching might get that one, but so the New Mexico Party in general, what is it like? Like, is it? I think you've said like the Mises takeover hasn't really materialized there. What's
they
the
don't
general
even really
culture?
try.
They don't exist here. They're not a thing. So
like the Mises members are generally just Austrian econ people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them actually kind of like, I know one of them, like she left after realizing that they're just right-wing identity politic BS. And they have very little to do with Mises himself. But generally, we are very focused on trying to run candidates in local elections. I mean, Chris Lucchini, our chairman, he's always like at our meetings, like, hey, you should run for something. They're like, you should run in this race that's probably going to be unopposed. So, we're very active in trying to get candidates on the ballot, whether, it be for a statewide race or local races. I mean, we've had some elected libertarians here, like Andrew Kennedy.
Andrew Kennedy is an elected libertarian. He is from Carlsbad, and in his race for Soil and Water Board, got more votes in that race than
it was contested.
Any other vote. And there were, I don't know what the heck there were, but most votes cast for Soil and Water Board.
Well, actually, I was partially inspired by I became famous from the old Domcopter incident. I was like, okay, I'm going to run for something. And since I'm a small farmer in the Albuquerque area, I'm going to run for Soil and Water Board. I lost, but I got 41,000 votes. And they said that was like the third most votes for a libertarian affiliated candidate, not including Gary Johnson's runs. And
more than I got.
Well, I was running against some guy who has been in the board for nearly almost all my life. So I think I could probably win the race next year.
No, it sounds like it. Do you want to? So for anyone who doesn't know, do you want to tell the audience a little bit about the Domcopter incident? Because I know some people know about it, but
so basically what happened was me and a few of my friends, Manny Gonzalez, he is the sheriff of Bernalillo County, and he is corrupt as hell. I mean, he spent years trying to prevent his officers from wearing body cameras. So basically last year he decided, I'm going to run for mayor of Albuquerque. So he was holding a rally, and one of my friends, he was like, we're going to troll him with this dildo-shaped object attached to a drone. Like, do you want to come? I was like, okay, I'll come with. Maybe I can ask him a hard question. So, that happened. So basically, they were trying to, I was in there with, I was actually making sure, because, my friends with the drone, they were trying to get it up and growing. It was making a bunch of noise, and it was just lying to everyone. Oh, it's construction workers, maintenance workers. And then once they got it up on the ground, people there were also like, what is that? Is that like a drone? Is that a dildo to the drone? So one of the business owners there, he grabbed it, and I ran to recover it. I was going to ask Manny a question, but he was already pissed off because some activist asked him a question. He was like, oh, God. So I ran to grab the drone out of his hand. I was going to leave with it. But then his security guards, which are his off-duty officers, they tackled me towards the sheriff. And I was just in the defensive mode. And my hand basically grazed accidentally on his hand, and they're just they're like, okay, get out of here, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. But then what's crazy is they followed me out of the building it was happening in, and all of a sudden, in the last second, they're like, oh wait, let's arrest this kid. He might be affiliated with Tim Keller, the current mayor of Albuquerque. and like, you know, it's crazy. It's like, you know, they arrested me, and, you know, it was crazy as Manny the next day, he gave a news interview and he was like, I've had worse things happen to me. So then, you know, but then like overnight I was in jail. So, and then like all these news stories came out, like man punches sheriff at a rally. And then once the video came out, you know, people were like, what the fuck was that? Because it was a dildo laced drone.
Yeah.
Like, people were like, man, this kid's a hero. Yeah. And, you know, I only gave one statement to the media, and that was like, basically like, I don't care for Tim Keller, and I identify as a libertarian. So there. And like, you know, what's funny now is like, one of the staffer at our office, like the Libertarian Party in New Mexico's office, he was talking to someone about the Libertarian Party here, and like the person there was like, okay, I get that, like, can you explain this one thing to me, this dong copter? And it was like, oh, come on. Yeah, he's laughing.
Well, it was funny and everything else, and Kalen received nationwide or global-wide recognition for it. He went viral for it. The fact of the matter is that they aggressed upon him. They assaulted him for trying to protect his personal property.
My friend's personal property.
And then imprisoned him, which is ridiculous, wrong, and awful.
I mean, he had the power. They basically used his power to arrest just this troll instead of just, you know, letting him go. And, you know, he wanted to make it a big news story, but hilariously it backfired on him. But yeah, I mean, and actually I've had friends that, you know, that have been arrested by the sheriff's office here for filming or, you know, getting too close to them. So these people are corrupt. I mean, I'll tell you that. But basically, I'm a folk hero here in Albuquerque. So
is that what inspired you to run for sheriff?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I was like, okay, I did so well in that soil and water board race last year that the party was like, you should run for something next year. I was like, you know what I got to do? I got to run for sheriff after that incident.
That sounds like a good idea. So when is that election? Is that in November?
The primary? It's Tuesday.
Tuesday
okay.
the 7th.
I don't have to worry because I'm running unopposed.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you had an opponent.
I'm the only one that is running opposed. So, you know, libertarians are coming out in a huge way, good, bad, or ugly, because it's the first time we've ever had a gubernatorial candidate. And now we have two, and I just ask that everyone go look at both of our websites. I apologize that mine's not completely done, but like I said, I jumped in last minute, and I will be when I do make it on the ballot. Because I have faith in the Libertarians of New Mexico. We are not stupid people. We do not lockstep vote, and just because her name's on the ballot and I'm a write-in, we research our votes. And they know who I am. Just as long as they know that I'm an option, they will vote for me. And when that happens, I will be the very first ever cannabis producer gubernatorial candidate in the history of ever, I believe.
Wow.
For a long time. I mean, it's the founding fathers.
Right. You know.
Modern days.
Modern days. Since in the last 80 years.
No, that's a pretty nice milestone. I will say so myself.
Yeah. And I'm going to, whenever Kalen met my daughter, when he came to volunteer for Gary's congressional.
No, it's Senate campaign. I was only I was 17 and I couldn't
vote. And he couldn't vote.
So I was like, man, I want to help Gary so much. So let me volunteer, you know.
So he came to volunteer, and he told her, he said, you know, what I really want to do is I really want to be a cannabis farmer. And she said, well, let me tell you what, my parents are industrial hemp farmers, and they work a lot with, and we ran the medical cannabis advocacy group, the only one that was registered with the Secretary of State, and have worked with crafting legislation to bring about the recreational policies that we just enacted.
She lobbied to get like a gift loophole that like
it's not a loophole.
Oh, sorry.
We have gifting in the state of New Mexico, and we can gift up to 2 ounces per day per person.
Wow.
She was giving out
so I will be
joints at her campaign event.
I will be giving out 4th gram pre-rolls at my event, at my campaign events, because in New Mexico it is legal to gift, and I will not accept any donations at that time, so that no one can say that it's in kind or anything else. And yes, so we got that passed. We got parental protections in family court so that it could not be held against you that you were a medical cannabis patient. We got job protections, so many things, and worked for years and years and years on behalf of the medical community to protect their rights. And we ended up with recreational adult use. And like I said, now that we have that, currently we are still industrial hemp farmers because my license has not dropped, but in about 2 weeks it should. And at that time I will go on the Secretary of State's website page and I will change my occupation to cannabis producer and gubernatorial candidate.
Nice.
Oh, hey, at least you're giving out joints of cannabis to supporters instead of taking their money and spending it on meals. I mean, Karen Bedoni, you go through her like the Secretary of State, like the public, the financing, and you can find that she is spending most of her money on just meals and shopping trips. It runs with Michael Heiss and all the Mises guys, frankly. But yeah, I mean, and she's claiming I'm supporting small businesses, and then you go for the like places she's spending her, and it's just chain restaurants. It's like,
or Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh yeah, a consulting. Isn't there a consulting group in
Tennessee? Yeah, I mean, I have made a huge issue of her campaign finance reports because while it may be legal, it is completely unethical as far as I'm concerned to take 2 years worth of campaign contributions, spend every night in a hotel with her entire family, and eat out 5 to 6 times a day. There's been several news articles written on it in the Santa Fe New Mexican about the gross misuse of her campaign finance. So yes, it is legal. I do understand that, but it is completely unethical. And so if anyone would like to go and look at her campaign finance reports, they're easily found on the Secretary of State's website. New Mexico Secretary of State's website.
Hey, does anyone in the comments have questions for Ginger? I mean, I guess we'll let those roll in.
Yeah, let those roll in because there's a little bit of a delay on the comments. Any other of the hosts have any questions to come up?
No, I have, at least for me, kind of got everything answered. So,
Archie, you there?
Yeah, I've just been on mute.
I mean, we've been talking for most of the whole time. So
Skylar, you're from Amarillo?
Yes.
Well, we're going to have to meet up because you're just like right next door.
I know. I'm basically right next door. I was like, Taos. I've been to Taos before.
No, not Taos. Portales.
Portales. Oh, Portales. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Portales. I've been there before too.
It's like right under Clovis. I'm like right next to Muleshoe.
Yes. Yeah, I've been to Portales a few times. Usually when I usually kind of stay around that area when I'm traveling to Colorado to buy products.
Well, hey, then you can just drive over to Portales and buy products. And I own a cannabis farm, so
there we go.
I can hook you up.
Right here. And I'm like, we should have been the first state to legalize it because of Gary. I mean,
yes, I was thinking that. I was like, it's Gary's state. It should have been the first.
Like the thing that got me interested in Gary Johnson was like when he was running in 2012. My dad, he went to UNM when he was governor here, and like my dad was like, "Oh my God, it's Gary Johnson." I remember everyone got all pissy. All the elected officials got all pissy when he came out in support of legalizing marijuana in the late 90s.
Oh, so yeah, I remember that too.
We actually were the first state. We had a medical program.
First medical, I believe.
Yes,
but I'm talking about recreation.
Yeah, we had the first medical even before California.
In the 70s.
It was Jerry Apodaca was our governor, and his son Jeff got pediatric cancer, and so we.
Uh-oh.
I think you guys just froze. I don't know if you can hear us still.
We're having a lot of technical issues today.
Yeah, it happens. Do I have to read the Titanoboa page now?
You might have to read the Titanoboa page.
It's been a while since I've read the Titanoboa page.
What the heck was that?
Oh, you're back.
We're back. Okay, yeah, you guys froze for a little bit.
Yeah, y'all froze for a little bit too.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Archie, I'm going to ask you to chime in again.
Any specific topic or
the one we're talking about? Just in general.
Just chime in.
Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot.
I did have a question. If you would, you said you're for smart immigration, of getting them through. What would you do if you were elected governor with the current illegal immigrants that are residing in New Mexico? Like, what is your plan for that?
If they're here, they're here. They're already here. Just open up an office and say, "Come in. Let's make you legal, so that you don't have to be afraid."
Perfect answer.
I mean, I know these people. I grew up with these people. They've my whole life with these people. They're not scary. They're not, all of this. There's nothing to be afraid of. The tamale, nobody's afraid of the tamale lady or the guy that stuccos your house. It's ridiculous.
The taco truck man.
To paint them as some sort of, evil. That is the most insane. And that people do that in New Mexico. I'm like,
oh God.
What the hell is wrong with you? Where are you from? You know these people. They're not scary.
New Mexico has been under Spanish control longer than American control. So Hispanics have been here for.
I'm Hispanic.
Me too.
I just am Hispanic Jewish, and so
I'm spaghetti Western.
Italian. I got told the other day that I white face. Sorry, this is the one I was born with, but my mom is as brown as the day is long. I don't,
Jeremy, you got any questions?
No, I think I am. I think I'm good. Pretty much got everything answered that I would have asked. So.
Okay, so yeah, it sounds like we've covered a lot today. I definitely wish both of you the best of luck in your races. It seems like you're.
Hold on, so how can people out of state support you in any way in the next few days?
Yes, they can give me money. Oh my God, I need so much money. I am hemorrhaging my own money just so hard. I went to national convention to try to get money, broke down, then had to rent a car, then spent $1,000 on hotels, and then got robbed. Someone stole my handgun from my room.
That's not good.
Yeah, out of my suitcase. And it was brand new. It was so beautiful. It was a little teeny tiny 9mm Sig Sauer, and it was beautiful, and it was gone.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so it's Ginger Grider, the number 4nm.com is my website, and that's where people can donate to me. And please, I need money so bad. And otherwise, if you're not from New Mexico and you know someone in New Mexico, please call them and they're a registered libertarian. Please ask them to get out and vote for me. Please.
Definitely.
Anything.
I'm going to let everyone I know around the Amarillo area, because we do have people who come by from New Mexico to get things, especially from like Clovis and such. I'll let all my friends know about it.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate you guys having me on more than you know.
Absolutely. No, we're happy to have you on. It sounds like your opponent has no place having the LP nomination. So
yeah,
I don't know what I'll do. I mean, I know libertarians are smart. I know they won't just go and lockstep vote like the rest of them do. But if whatever horrid thing happens and
her supporters actually realize that they need to register libertarian, we're not giving them ideas.
Well, they can't. I mean,
yeah.
on day of, New Mexico has a law that if you are not already registered, or you are an independent, or you are DTS, declined to state, you can, on that day, change your registration to one of the major parties and pull a ballot. So I am hoping that anyone that is not an affiliated voter, if they would like to, I would really appreciate it. I am 100% libertarian to the core of my being. There is nothing that I believe government should be able to do to us. I am a pro-cannabis candidate, like I said. And so if any of those things trip your trigger, please, day of, go change your voter registration at the SOS website, SOSNM. Takes 2 seconds, change it, go pull a libertarian ballot, fill in the bubble, and write in Ginger G. Grider. That always happens backwards on the video. Fill in the bubble, Ginger G. Grider. There we go.
There we go. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up? I was going to ask if you had anything to say, but I think that was kind of like your closing statement there.
I was like, we need to. There's probably people in the audience who are like, oh my God, I don't want to see Karen Bedoni. God.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Sounds like that would be pretty rough. But hopefully you win. So.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you, gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And glad I got this going.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. So thanks to both of you for coming on today. And thanks to everyone for watching. And to all our viewers, we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Buy shirt, get money. No, other way. We get money. You send money, we get shirt.